Oh, here we go. Still learning how to use all this stuff. We are live this morning with our weekly gig workers hangout. We wanted to talk about today. Why are you still in debt? And this is not coming from a negative spot as someone who is still in debt himself. Why are you still in debt? And specifically, we're going to address the fact that your distractions, the things that distract you are keeping you in debt. Your distractions are keeping you in debt. And this is gonna be a little reality check. This is coming from just realizations that I've been having about my own life and how I need to step up my game and not be really I need to be more focused, and I need to have what Dave Ramsey calls it gazelle intensity, right? He calls it gazelle intensity. Um, I need to have that. I need to have this next level of doing things. Again, this channel is designed to help you with your gig work in all sorts of ways, but in surveys that I've done and talking to other gig workers, the vast majority of gig workers that I've talked to are doing gig work either as a temporary job replacement, like they're in between jobs, um, or they're doing it to get extra money and mostly for the purpose of getting out of debt. And so I want to help you with this idea that we're getting distracted. We're not doing the little things that we need to be consistently doing. I just put up, or I think it's going up right after this stream, the newest video on Patreon. So I would love to invite you to be a Patreon member. If you are seeing this, you can join for free to test out Patreon in general. I believe it's free for 7 days, and then it's $5 a month after that. There is also just a free tier on Patreon. You don't get to see all of the videos and stuff that I do, but if you want to at least see a little bit more behind the scenes things, we'll have that there. But basically, the gist of the video is that like we need to be focusing on day-to-day things that are going to help us accomplish our goals. And so much of life, we end up getting distracted. We don't do the little things that we should be doing each and every day, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh my goodness, now I have all these things, I'm so far behind on this, that, and the other thing, right? And so in a lot of groups I'll see things like if Instacart's having an issue and the app is down or whatever, people will be complaining like, I need to pay this bill today, like I need Instacart up so I can pay this bill today. Look, we need to get away from living paycheck to paycheck and day by day, and that's where this whole growth thing is happening. And there might be a season where you're going to just have to sacrifice, and you're just going to have to do what you need to do to get the freedom from debt that it is. Because look, I'm telling you, there's always going to be gig app opportunities, but I don't think that the gig app economy is going to be getting any better in the long term. Everything that I'm seeing is it's more and more pushing people to do more work for the same amount or do less work, um, and get paid way less, or do the same amount of work and get paid a little bit less, right? Like they're trying to maximize their efficiency as companies. They're trying to make money, and they're trying to make money not and help you and during while you're trying to do it. Their goal is not to help you make money. Their goal is to use you in the situation that you're in to help them get their deliveries done. Now, that being said, if it's working for you and it's working in your market and you're making the money you want, that's great. Okay. But I need you to come to this realization that the way to true financial freedom over the long haul and being completely financially independent is probably not going to be through the gig apps. They are a great band-aid, but they're really horrible stitches, right? Like if you got a wound and it's like a little cut and you're in between jobs, but you're searching and you've got a job prospect and you just need money coming in for a couple of weeks where you can just take a bunch of orders, that's fine. But the strategy for doing this long term is a lot harder and a lot more difficult. And like we talked about last week on our hangout, it's not scalable. Like you only have so many hours you can give, and you can only really max out at a certain dollars per hour, depending on what your market is. It's you can't scale this thing up to the hourly income that you need to be making, you know, $500,000 a year. You can't make $500,000 a year doing, gig delivery work. It's just not going to be a thing. You need to have other infrastructure, financial infrastructure around you. And so some of you are dealing with not just, like $1,000 a day, you're dealing with, $50,000 worth of debt, school debt, student loans that you're trying to get paid off. Maybe you're trying to pay off a mortgage, whatever your financial goals are. Um, we need to make sure that we are using maximum efficiency in the decisions that we make. So I want to highlight just some ideas to help get your brain storming on what it is. Before we get into that a little bit more, I want to hear what you're drinking today. Today is a combo of Milo's sweet tea and Milo's lemonade. Got a little drink treat. So you got to enjoy the goodness today. But comment below what you are drinking or if there's anything else, and love to hear from you with that. So let me highlight a couple of things that I think are worthwhile for you to think about regarding maximum efficiency and in terms of getting rid of distractions to keep you that are keeping you in debt or keeping you in debt for longer than what you need. So here's the simplest thing, right? This device right here. This device has the power to make you money, and it has the power to make you broke. Okay. One device has the opportunity to do both things. And I can tell you over like the last couple weeks, I found myself getting into a spiral where I kept justifying, oh, I'll just scroll shorts for a few more minutes. I'm just doing research for YouTube or doing things like I've been on this kick where I've been like having fun watching chess videos and trying to learn. I know how to play chess, but trying to actually, get decent at it. And, and so I'm getting distracted. And so then I'm spending an hour watching a chess video instead of spending an hour working on creating helpful content for you and for other gig workers who are out there. Right. And so what I'll do, I haven't done this recently, so I need to do this soon. Every once in a while, I will go through my phone and I will delete my distraction apps. And it's amazing after a few months, like how many apps on there that I justify for whatever reason having on there. And then I'll just see, wow, that's just become a really big distraction to me. Okay. So there's the distraction apps. The second thing that I would say, another distraction that might be keeping you in debt is not having decent routines that are preparing you for the next day. So maybe you're not like me and you're always completely organized when you decide to go out the door. But the number of times that I go out the door and I realize, oh, I didn't fill up my car with gas, right? Or, oh, I didn't charge my headphones. Or, oh, my phone's only at 20% charge. These are all things that are 100% within my control. And sometimes, because I'm so distracted with whatever else is going on, um, I'm just not ready to go out the door. And so then instead of just going out and turning on the apps, it's like, okay, now I got to go fill up with gas. And hey, it's like you get a couple dollars cash back using the Upside app. We'll have a link down in the description below. That's an affiliate link for us. And I just posted a video this morning too, by the way, regarding our. I'm trying to pay off one credit card with cash back from Upside. So if you want to help us on that journey, you can click through that affiliate link, and you can save money on your gas and help us with paying that off. But there's that video that I just posted right before this. But like the point is that time gassing up should have been done not during the delivery time. Should have done it the night before. Should have done it at the end of the shift, right? Every night, somewhere near us, we have like an Amazon hub. And at the end of the night, there will often be 20, 30 different Amazon trucks lining up to fuel up. right? Why? Because the day is done, the shift is done, everybody's going to be fueled up. So that way, when it's time to deliver tomorrow, everything is ready to go. Okay. If Amazon is doing it, then maybe we should consider doing that too. So at the end of your shift, I know you're tired. I know you just want to get home, take the shower, go to bed, eat your supper, whatever that is. But what if you take that 5 extra minutes, get the car gassed up, so that way when it's time to go out the next day, you're ready to go. Okay. And those distractions, and sometimes it's not necessarily a distraction, sometimes it's just laziness, maybe. Sometimes it's just this feeling. I At least for me, I'll sometimes get this feeling like I deserve it. I just delivered for 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours. I deserve to be able to just go home. And as soon as I start thinking I deserve things, right, that's when my physical health gets off track. I deserve to go eat whatever I want because I've earned it, right? Now, again, this isn't to say you should never treat yourself, you should never have a fun food. That's not what I'm talking about. But when your justification for being lazy or being distracted is you deserve it constantly, as opposed to saying, when I get all my things done, when everything is done that I need to do, and I've checked off all my responsibilities, then I'm going to reward myself with this particular thing, for this particular amount of time. So you might say, okay, when I'm all done with my day, when everything's done, the car is ready to go, my bags are wiped out, everything is set, car is gassed up, I've had a good healthy supper, whatever you want to say, then I'm going to give myself 30 minutes of mindless scrolling. That's fine, right? That's not necessarily a distraction. That's just part of your recovery. But when you don't put boundaries and limitations on these things, right? It's the similar, let's say you're trying to eat healthy, right? There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, I'm trying to eat healthy, but my friends are all getting together and we're going to go out to eat. So you go out to eat and you enjoy that meal. That's fine. One day. But if you decide, well, that was fun, let's do it again tomorrow and the next day and the next day, then all of a sudden you're a week down the road and you haven't had a healthy meal in a week. Okay. So we need to make sure that we're saying these things we're doing with purpose. What was the purpose for having that fun meal? Well, it was because you were going out with your friends, right? Or you're celebrating someone's birthday, you're doing that. But when you can come up with a justification to eat unhealthy every single day, then you're kind of missing the point, because the justification should be like, I'm doing this for a particular reason, for a particular purpose. I'm going to do this. I'm going to watch TV, but I'm doing it and I'm going to put limitations and a safeguard on. So that way it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. This is my favorite show. I'm going to watch my favorite show. I'm going to do it, whatever. Like, so I remember back in the day when Lost was on, I was a huge fan of Lost. And so I would have like a really busy day and it was on Wednesdays. So once everything was done with Wednesdays, then I would go home and I would watch Lost on Wednesday night. That was my reward. But I didn't take that reward until all the work had been done that I needed to do leading up to that point. And so that's what I want to encourage you, is put these safeguards and these boundaries in for whatever these distractions are. Now, the other part is too, right? Like I find a lot of times like I'm researching things and I've been looking to see what's out there in the job market as well. And, I'll start looking at jobs. Then before you know it, then you like research a website and then you click on another link. And then, 20 minutes later, I'm not even in the job searching mindset anymore. Right. So instead of focusing on the goal that I had, it's like all of a sudden distracted, distracted, distracted. Or doing Instacart, right? Like maybe I'm doing Instacart only day and it's like, okay, swipe, 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 nothing coming through, nothing coming through. Okay. And then I'm like, okay, I'm bored. So then I'll put on a YouTube video in the background. Okay, that's fine. It's playing. And then the YouTube video, and then I start researching other videos and I get going. And then all of a sudden a big order pops up on Instacart and I'm not even paying attention to it anymore. And by the time I click through, of course, it's gone, it disappears. And that's kind of that frustration, because it's like that decision to scroll YouTube costs you a $25 or $30 batch. That 1 second, those 10 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever they are, of distraction causes you to miss the batch, which is the whole reason you're out there in the first place. And so when we're not paying attention, it's very easy that we see, oh, we missed this, we missed this, we missed this. Oh, we didn't start the laundry the night before. So then now we don't have the clothes that we want to wear for delivery. So now we got to wait an extra hour to run the load and dry it so we can wear the clothes that we want to wear, all these different things. So I really want you to just think about, what are the little time leaks? What are the little areas of your life where you say, oh yeah, that's okay. That's not that big of a deal. What are the things that you're ignoring, the things that you're putting off? What are all the little things that are happening in your life that you would say, okay, if I could just take control of this, if I just remembered to start the dishwasher every night before I went to bed, if I just remembered to start the laundry before I went to bed or start the laundry first thing in the morning, it wouldn't be an issue. If I just remembered, I'm just going to commit to, I'm going to top off my car with gas every single night. Every single night, I'm just going to top off my car with gas. It's like, okay, now I'm going to do that. And now there's a system where it's like, okay, I'm never going to be below a half a tank really ever. And then if there's one night that something comes up at the last minute or you're just completely exhausted, it's like, okay, at least you're still starting with a half a tank the next day as opposed to nothing in it. But when you put these things off, you're limiting, and then your time, which is actually the most valuable asset you have in getting out of debt, is also the thing that most quickly gets eaten up by all of these distractions. And so I would really challenge you and encourage you to say, like, okay, why? Why are you only delivering as much as you are if you're still in debt? And I've been asking myself this, like, why? Why don't I go out? Why don't I deliver from 9 to midnight on weeknights? Just because it's slow? Well, yeah, maybe I wouldn't get my ideal dollars per hour. And I've really been thinking on this. So I might make a full video on this. So if you're watching this, you'd like me to do this. I think a lot of times, um, when we talk about dollars per hour and dollars per mile, that we need to put a caveat in here, which is cash flow trumps everything, especially if you're in debt. So let me ask you this. If you had two options, and I get it, I get the wear and tear on vehicles and all these things, and I get where you want to be. But in the meantime, if you're needing, let's say, what do we think? Let's just say you need $800 a week to live on. But then you have an additional $10,000 in debt that you're trying to pay off. Every every minute that you're not working and earning money towards paying off that debt is multiple future minutes that you have to work to pay off that debt, right? Because that debt keeps accruing interest. And so if you could work, say, 9 to midnight on earn by time on DoorDash and still keep, your other apps on in case you catch something crazy. And let's say even if you only made 18 an hour, and like normally our channel goal here is 25 an hour, right? But let's say you could only make 18 an hour. And after expenses, you're really only making 12 an hour or something like that. Okay. But you can do that, and at least you can do that every night where you have enough energy to do that. That's an extra $50, right? 18 an hour is an extra $50 every night that you can be taking in. And if that's available in your market. Now, again, I don't know your market, but I'm just giving this as an example. And so if you could get an extra $50 a night times 7 nights, that's an extra $350. And you do that times 4 weeks, that's an extra $1,300 a month. And you do that over 9 months, that's an extra $10,000. I mean, isn't that crazy? And if an extra $50 a day could pay off $10,000 in debt. I think I'm doing the math right. Hold on, I'm going to calculate this. I mean, imagine if you could pay off $10,000 in debt by making an extra $50 a day, even if you had to work an extra 4 hours. When you're in debt, it's worth it. Now, I would say if you're not in debt, this doesn't apply to you. But again, this whole video is all about how can we do this. Let me make sure I'm doing the math right here. So we're going to call it $50 times 7 times, we can do times 30, right? Times 9. Let's see, 50 times 7 times, so that's an extra 350 a week Oh no, I can't do times 30. I do times 4 weeks a month, which is 1,400 times 9, 12,600. You could get $10,000 in debt paid off by just doing an extra $50 a day. That's it. Every day. If you can make $50 in that 9 to midnight shift that you don't normally do, and you can do that work that every night, average $50 for 3 hours, $18 an hour, which I know is not great, but here's the point. It's not about being great when you're in debt. It's about getting out of debt. And so that's where I would challenge you to say, what could you possibly do? And if you have another job opportunity or if you have another income stream, of course, push into that. But a lot of times we just say, "Oh yeah, but my favorite TV show is on, or my favorite sporting event is on, or whatever." And I get it. I'm a sports guy, right? I don't watch much regular TV, but I like sports. But 10 months from now, if I spend 3 hours watching sports a night, or 10 months from now, if I spend an extra 3 hours making an extra $18 an hour, $50 a night, which is going to make my life better? Which is going to bring me closer to my stated goal of getting out of debt? So I just really want you to think about this and say, what is a distraction that's keeping you from getting to your debt free goal? Because everything else that you want to do is going to be really held back until you have this debt paid off. And and I really just want to challenge you and encourage you to say, like, fine. And maybe that's not the time frame for you. Maybe you're just a pumpkin by the time 9 o'clock comes around. So flip it to the morning. What if you delivered, instead of going out at 10 a.m., what if you went out at 7 a.m. every single day? You know, if you could get an extra $50 from 7 to 10 a.m., same concept, that's over $10,000 in 9 months. So you could basically be talking January, February next year just by doing $50 a day, right? $50 a day, 9 months from now. Maybe you got a baby on the way. Maybe you just found out a baby's on the way, right? You could be $10,000 in debt today and debt free by the time that baby arrives, if you're just willing to put in that extra work, that extra $50 a day. So don't look down on these opportunities. Like, yeah, sometimes we need to do that. If you want to hear more, I would love to do it. If there's interest, let me know if there's interest in kind of hearing this idea uh, of we need to make sure that our dollars per hour and dollars per mile don't place a limitation on what we really need when we're in debt, which is dollars. Okay, dollars is more important than dollars per mile and dollars per hour when you're in debt. As you move out from that and you start expanding and you're trying to grow a business, then it changes. But if you'd like to hear more of a video on that, I would love to kind of hear what your thoughts are. But there is freedom. It is possible for you to get debt free, but you need to start eliminating all these distractions that are in your life. I would encourage you start with your phone. Okay, figure out what it is that you can get rid of off your phone that's distracting you. What are things that you can be more efficient with and doing as you go? Thank you so much for tuning in, whether it's live or later. Again, we got links to affiliate links for Upside, and we have links for our Patreon. I will start shouting you out publicly if you become a Patreon subscriber. So we want to really build that crew. And like I said, we have new videos that are over there that are exclusive to Patreon only. You will not find them public on the YouTube channel. So I'd love to have you go over there, and you can check it out free for 7 days. And then it's just $5 a month after that to support us here with what we're doing. And the more support I can gain, the more videos I can do for you. And we'll just keep growing this thing together and moving you from stupid debt to self-defined millionaires. That's what we're all about here, of whatever it is that you would consider your true financial freedom. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.